So go with me here. It's time to talk about the end of the year. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. I am sorry. Hello, my lovely friends. It's Margaret, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I don't like to talk about, and that is deadline. If you're like me at all, you're going, Margaret, why are we talking about the end of the year in August? Because I wanted to do this tag, and I figured people would need time to film this tag, so I figured I would have to be a little early on the draw instead of waiting till the last minute like I usually do. We're being proactive. That's what we're doing right now. What we're here to do today is we are going to build our end of the year TBR or something like that. Now, I do know that there is an end of the year TBR tag that has already been done, that was done by Ariel Bissett. I will link that one down, the original video. I've probably watched that one, let's be honest. I have probably watched it, but the questions in Ariel's tag are a little bit different because what I'm doing right now is more like, I want to build an end of the year TBR. Like, not just like, here are some books that I need to read by the end of the year, but actually like, let's do a TBR. What are books that I want to read by the end of the year? So I have some very different questions here. Since this is basically a build your own TBR tag, feel free to omit questions that don't apply to you. Feel free to only choose one book for each question. I am incapable of doing that, so we did not. So the first question is, what is a new release you would like to read before the end of the year? So the first one that I have is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This is a book about two sisters. It's set in the future. One of them is in a Neo city. One of them is stranded on an island. She wakes up with very little memory, but she has an android. That's about as much as I know. From what I've heard, it's very like there's some sci-fi thriller vibes in one point of, like, one timeline, and the other one's more like dystopian. So I'm kind of interested to see what the mix of genres is going to do. The other one that I really would like to get to is A Blood Like a Magic by Lizelle Sambry. This is about a girl that her family, like, she's a witch, and she fails her test to become a witch. And then, because she's failed her test, she then has to do another trial, or her entire family loses its magic. And the trial is she's supposed to kill her first love. She's never been in love before, so she's going to go find someone to fall in love with and murder. I think that sounds like a fantastic concept. I follow Lizelle. I'm very excited about this book. I've been waiting for it to come out because she's been talking about it for so long. So eventually we will get around to reading this. Question number 2 is, what is a book you want to reread before the end of the year? I don't have one book. I have 3. Truth Witch. Whoop, there's a map in there. I forget that every time. Wind Witch and Blood Witch by Susan Dennard. I was supposed to reread all of these before the most recent book came out. You can't see it, it's back that way. I didn't. I've read them all in audiobook so far. That's how I read them the first time. And I'd like to, you know, just have fun highlighting and tabbing and doing all of that stuff with this series. Question number 3 is, what is the next book in a series that you would like to finish before the end of the year? I have a few options, as usual, per usual. We have The Trials of Apollo, The Dark Prophecy by Rick Riordan. I would like to eventually finish this series because I actually enjoyed it, plus Percy is in it, so I'm gonna read it for him and Annabelle. Also have The Archer at Dawn by Swati Tirhala. It was about, okay, so it's basically, the first book is it's a cat and mouse chase between these two people on opposite sides of this, like, one side is occupying the other, and one of them is a rebel, one of them is a soldier, and it's just, it's a great, like, little kind of back and forth. I really enjoyed it. I liked the way that the relationship built between the two people in the first book, so I'm ready to read the second book, or I would like to read the second book. I'm not sure if I'm ready to, but I would like to, because the third book does come out this year, or it is already out. And then the third one is We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faisal. I know I can get this on audiobook. In fact, I do currently have it checked out from my library, because I was trying something out. I don't know if we'll get to it before it has to go back, but, you know, whatever. It's not like I use all of my hoopla anyways. Fourth one is, what is a book that you would like to buddy read by the end of the year? Now, this can be a book that you've already got a buddy read set up, or a book that you would be interested in setting up a buddy read with. Like, either way can go. I'm saying that because I've already got buddy reads, like, planned with both of these books. The first one is Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters. I have no idea what this is about, except that I know it is fantasy, I know it has dragons, I know it's been compared to Game of Thrones, which I haven't read, really. I've read the first one and then didn't. So, and the back doesn't tell you anything. Like, it just tells you that there is an internal war and it is Gladiator meets Game of Thrones. That kind of gives me an idea of what it's about, so I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I've heard so many good things about this, so I really would like to read this book before the second book comes out, or soon, so that I can get to the second book. And then the other one that I have a buddy read set up for, or I am planning to buddy read at least, is Where the Rhythm Takes You by Sarah Das. This is a retelling of Persuasion set in Tobago. I'm excited. I have heard that, like, I listened to the author talk about this on a podcast, and I don't usually just go out and buy new books unless I already know the author and already know we kind of get along, or there are things about them that I think I would translate into things that I like in their writing style. But she was just talking about this and like the stuff that she was mentioning, and I'm like, it's a Persuasion retelling. Let's go. Let's do it. I am here for it. And so I just went out and I got it. And it was a little bit of an impulse purchase, but it is such a pretty cover. Like, look at that. And then number 5 is, what book would you like to read by the end of the year that is in a different genre or age category than what you usually read? I have a couple of options for this. Well, actually, no. There are 2 different answers that I have for this. So as far as age category goes, I would like to read more middle grade. I don't read as much of it as I would like. Like, Percy Jackson is obviously my favorite series in the world, and it is a middle grade series. So, like, it's not that I don't like middle grade. Howl's Moving Castle, again, favorite. Not that I don't like middle grade, I just don't pick it up as often. I am hoping to read The Stars of Whistling Ridge by Cindy Baldwin. All I know is that this is about the daughter of a star, and she steals her mother's jar of wishes so that they can stay. She wants to stay in one town, and so she's trying to use this jar of wishes to get it so that they stay in one place instead of going around the country granting wishes. And then the other thing that I have been working on or reading more of this year is nonfiction. So one of these is The Death of Democracy, Hitler's Rise to Power, and the Downfall of the Weimar Republic by Benjamin Carter Hett. This is a book that I heard about from one of the podcasts that I listened to. If you haven't seen which podcasts I listen to, like, or my podcast recommendations video, I'll have it up top so you can, like, take a look at it. But he did this in an episode, and there was some interesting information in this. And then there's Hitler's American Friends, which I also want to get, but it was super expensive, so I didn't get it where I was going to get it. I'm just, kind of looking into the rise of fascism in the 40s, 30s, and 40s, and 20s. Really, I mean, it started after World War I. I'm kind of looking into that, just kind of, not for any particular reason. It just seems like it might be relevant. The other one that I have here is The Address Book, What Street Addresses Reveal About Identity, Race, Wealth, and Power by Deirdre Mask. I don't know why I said Mask. It's Mask, obviously, probably. This is something along, obviously, based on the subtitle. I really don't read past subtitles on nonfiction, by the way. I picked this up because I was looking for a book by a Black author that goes into redlining. I did read The Color of Law, was it earlier this year or last year? I'm not entirely sure whether it was this year or last year, and it was really, really good. That's the point. It was good. It had a lot of really good information. I liked how it was structured. I thought he did a very good job of just, like, being like, so this is what happened and why America is segregated. But I do want to, like, for stuff like that, I do try and make sure that the majority of what I'm reading is coming from the people who are affected by those historical events. So I knew I wanted to pick up a similar book that was by a Black author. The next one is a call out for those of us that, make TBRs, that are very ambitious, I guess, or those of us that make TBRs and don't stick to them. But number 6 is read a book from a previous TBR. My mood readers are exempt from this one because y'all, I know how y'all work. I have a couple here. One of them is in the vein of wanting to read more nonfiction, Inspired, Slaying Giants, Walking on Water, and Loving the Bible Again by Rachel Held Evans. I am going to be reading this actually in August. If you've already seen my August TBR, you know I'm going to start reading this in August because I'm going to need this to finish one of the mission logs. I also have Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow here. This is a Snow White retelling set in China, I believe it is. I could be wrong about that one because I have not read this book, and the last time I heard Julie C. Dow talk about it, I wasn't taking notes, so I don't remember exactly which East Asian country she mentioned, but I think it's China. This is for a board on a TBR that y'all never saw, but it was on a TBR, as was Nocturna by Maya Montaigne. All I know about this one is that there is face-stealing magic, and there is a prince, and there is a thief, and the thief is the one that can change her faces, and she steals other people's faces, and I think one of them has the prince I think has a dead brother that he's trying to resurrect, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, okay? The next question, number 7, is what is a book that you want to read by the end of the year that is one you have recently purchased? Because a girl is trying to be better about reading the books, not purchasing the books she reads, reading the books that she has purchased in a timely manner. So the first one is The Things She's Seen by Amberlynn and Ezekiel Quay-Molina. This is the September. This is the September group book for the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge. I have to read it. I have to read it. No ifs, ands, buts, none of that stuff. I have to read it. So I guess I'm going to read it. And then there are two romance. Well, one of them's a contemporary, one of them's a romance. I have The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This was another impulse buy. I don't usually do that. Usually I stick to books that I've read or that I know that I like the authors, but this was an impulse buy, and I want to read it because I've been hearing really good things about Emily Henry and all of the books that she wrote, and Beach Read was not available. Or I would have bought both of them. Honestly, let's be honest. I would have bought both of them. I also want to read Undercover Bromance by Alyssa K. Adams. This one, I do know I enjoyed the first book, so I'm excited. Like, I finished the first book and immediately went out and bought the second one, so I'm excited to kind of continue on with this series. So number 8 is, what is a book on your physical TBR that you would like to read by the end of the year? One of those is going to be Heroes Adrift by Maura J. Adams. I've been enjoying this series. I'm excited. I know some stuff happens in this book because I'm a bad reader and I skipped ahead, but I'm really excited to see where this goes, and I'm hoping it goes places that I like, and then it stays places that I like, and there is no unnecessary drama. What am I kidding? Taro is one of the main characters. He's going to have so much drama, but is it unnecessary? It might be necessary. The other one that I really want to read is Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. I'm rereading the entire Grishaverse in in preparation to read, what's the name of the book? King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, because it's time that I read those. I've heard really good things about them, and I've also heard that my faves show up in those books, so I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. So number 9 is, what is a hyped book that you would like to read by the end of the year? I've got a couple here. I have The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about this series. People seem to have really liked it. So I'm hoping that I will be able to at least, get to the first book before, the end of the year. I know that the second book is already out. It's a duology. I know. I'm behind the times, but I got it in a book box, and I just haven't. I'm terrible at reading book box books, okay? And then the other one that I bought, because I know I love this author, and I bought also from extreme pressure with my friends, or from my friends, is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Do I need to tell you how hyped this is? This has been hyped since it came out. I'm pretty sure almost everyone on Booktube either loves it or hates it. I'm pretty sure. At least of the people that are willing to read Victoria Schwab. I'm going to read this. Do I know what it's about? No. I know it's about a girl who no one remembers because she made a deal with the devil. That's the most I know, and then I know that it's by V.E. Schwab. I really didn't need to know any more than it's by V.E. Schwab. I honestly put on... Seriously? You're just gonna throw yourself in the trash? Okay, so question number 10. The final question is, what is a book that you have previously DNFed that you would like to try again by the end of the year? I've got a couple. Now, these are not... So, if I DNF a book, it is DNF'd. I don't really that's a hard DNF. I've got a couple here that are soft DNFs. I just need to start from the beginning, basically, because it's been so long since I started them that I have forgotten everything. So the first is Glory Happening by Caitlin B. Curtis. I want to read her new book, Native, and I need to finish this before I do that, but look at how far into this I got that far, and then I forgot I was reading it, basically, even though it was at my bedside table. The other one that I didn't get very far into, so I don't feel terribly bad about it, is Dear Allie, How Do You Write a Book by Allie Carter. This is just a book of writing advice that she specifically geared towards younger writers. She went to other writers that she knows, got advice from them. It's so far, I'm only a couple of chapters in, but I do like the format that she's doing, and I like what she's saying. Some of it, so far at least, is a lot of stuff that, I know, but... whatever. Question number 11 is, obviously, who are you going to tag to also build their end of the year TBR? Yeah, that's a mean question, I know. I am tagging Bree from Bree Bear McKay, Christine from The Other Christine That Reads, and Brianna from Four Paws and a Book, because they are the ones that volunteered. If I know you and we're friends, and you would like to be tagged, you are tagged as well. If you're watching this video and you would like to be tagged, you're tagged as well. You're tagged. Do it. Read it. Watch it. No. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. If you're feeling chatty today, let me know down in the description. No, not the description box. My God, Margaret. If you are feeling chatty, let me know down in the comments what is the top book that is on your must finish by the end of 2021 list. What book is it? If you've read any of these and you have any advice, any thoughts, feel free to also leave those down in the comments. That's perfectly fine. If you are not feeling chatty, leave me a check mark emoji, because you know we all like checking things off lists. Thank you, serotonin. Speaking of thanking people, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, there will be videos over here that you can watch. I'm doing Booktube beta right now, so there will probably be beta videos over here that you can watch. If you end up liking those videos and you're new, you've never heard of me before until you saw this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Please, thank you. That would be fantastic. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye! I'm knocking things over. Oh, and you can definitely see some of the books in frame. So we're just gonna scooch those over and hope nothing falls.